This is the Super Sport Schools podcast, bringing you stories of our future stars, powered by Spur Steak Ranchers.
1, 2, 3, go!
It's another special episode of the Super Sport Schools podcast. We've got Hannes and Spoed, our Super Sport Schools expert, and Tom from NGXV 15 is back as well. We're going to be talking about players to watch. We know we've done an episode like this before. It's time to add 2 players to each of those positions. So by the end of this episode, we're going to have 3 players per position. And then over the next couple of weeks, we want to get that up to 8 players per position. And then right at the end, you can vote for a player per position. So it's exciting. There's lots to look forward to. And around Craven week, around that time is when we will have our 8 players per position for you to choose from. But basically, we're going to do 2 players per position today. I'm going to name, we'll call it Team Green and Team Gold. I'll name a position and then I'll pick one of you 3 to literally say who you would have in that position. So no pressure, guys. And good luck. Okay, I'm going to start with fullback. We'll go with Team Green, fullback, because that was the position I played at school for the longest. Not even close to as well as the 2 players we're going to get in here. But let's start with Team Green, fullback. And I think, Tom, we're going to put you under the pressure first.
Okay, well, I went with JC Mars. I don't think there should be any surprises over there. He's an incredible young athlete. He was listed on honorable mentions in the last video. It was definitely a coin toss, in my opinion. But he's had an incredible season so far. Arguably the form 15 in the country right now. Absolutely lethal pace, a great step. And you can forget some of the tries that he scored this season. I mean, think about that try that he scored against Grey College over the weekend. It was absolutely incredible. Special young talent. And for me, someone that's definitely going to be in the SS Schools mix.
Okay, and then if we stick with fullback and take it to Team Gold, somebody different, Hannes, who would you put forward?
I would put forward Jody Chambriel from Monument. Jody last year has shown for the team from Krugersdorp this year as well. I don't think he's fully where he was last year, but he's steady building up his performance in his so far this season. And I feel by the time Craven week comes, he will be one of the talk of the towns at fullback. There will be quite a lot of fullbacks that we can look forward to this year.
And obviously building up to Craven week, that's what this is all about. And I'm sure it's going to get more intense and more exciting as we go along. Let's go to the right wing now. And with Team Green, haven't forgotten about you, Spoed. Who would you put forward?
Fellow Prince, man from Oakdale Landbou School. He's been having a good season in a side that, like we've mentioned before in this episode, has blown hot and cold. He's got the package. He's got good feet. He's got speed. He's also a good kicker of the rugby ball, is Fellow Prince. So, a bit of a no-brainer for me. Definitely in the mix, Fellow Prince. He can play on the left wing as well. Watch out for him come Craven week as well.
And then let's stay with Team Green and fill up their back line now. So that's right wing. If we were to say an outside centre, Hannes?
Campbell Riddle from Michael House would be my pick. Michael House had a very good season. They surprised me a bit so far. The only defeat, the one against Hilton, was at home. They were looking for their 100th victory. But Campbell Riddle has been very consistent this season, very good player, one of the stalwarts in the Michael House side.
And then that outside centre, inside centre combo, if we were to pair Campbell off, Tom, inside centre?
I went with Carrick Castor from Worcester Gym. To me, this guy's been one of those players that we spoke about the last episode that just has come out of nowhere. I mean, seen his performance, especially against DHS, where they caused that massive upset. He was key to that victory. He seems to be a jack of all trades, and what I really like about him, he's a very instinctive player. He really just plays off his instincts. He has fun, and I hope that I definitely think that he'll have a future in the game if he decides to pursue it. And I just hope that who, like in the next stage of his journey, whoever's coaching him doesn't coach that adventure out of him, that ability just to play off instinct, because I think it's really something special and something that can't be coached. I think it just comes to certain players naturally.
And you mentioned that he's one of those players that's just come out of nowhere, and that's really what we're able to discover through Super Sport Schools, because there just is too much school rugby to watch. So hopefully we can get into it. Okay, outside center, inside center pairing complete. We're still with Team Green. Let's get a left wing from you, Spoed.
Juma Amisi, man from Rondebosch. It's always so competitive in the Winelands. The Bosch-Bish derbies, all of those games. And he's one of those guys in the southern suburbs currently lighting up the scene. What a pairing he'll form with Thurlow Prince. And, you can always look at the sides we're putting together and imagine a trials match between them, and that backline, Castula, Riddle, feeding it to Prince, Amisi and Mars. Some serious excitement, it's almost a South African barbarian side. But Amisi, he's been really good for Rondebosch, and they've been having a good season as well. They always cause a couple of upsets during the year. That's sort of their thing. And I think he's going to get the credit he deserves.
Making me so proud. Back when I was at Rondebosch and ran athletics, Jimmer was part of the athletics squad, and he would just smoke all of us. So one of the players here that I can comment on and know firsthand from being left in his dust, that absolutely lethal. And then to finish off Team Green, I'm going to come to you, Hannes, for our 10 fly half.
My pick, JT Kapunk. Last year, JT was, you can see the talent in him and everything, but he's a bit more mature in his approach this year, a lot less mistakes. He was more Elton Yankees last year, a bit more Andre Pollard this year. JT Kapunk is a player to look out for in the future as well. My pick for the green team.
Awesome. And then to finish it off with scrum half, Tom?
Should be no surprise here. Anybody that's heard me comment on players to watch this year knows that I'm a massive fan of Keanu Everson from Monas. I thought he was absolutely amazing last year, and this year he's just carried on with that form. It's something that I think that those of us that follow youth rugby quite closely have seen, is that there's a lot of guys that were really shone in their grade 11 year that have sort of fallen off a little bit in their grade 12 year. But Keanu is one of those guys that's remained very consistent. And as far as I know, I think he made the South African Sevens under 18 squad as well recently. And I think he's going to be an exceptional addition to that squad. And to me, there's nothing stopping him from getting that green and gold jersey in the under 18 division for the 15-man game this year as well. Really special young talent.
Awesome, guys. That rounds off the back line for Team Green, Team Gold. At fullback, we have Jody Chambriel, already mentioned at the start. I'm going to stay with you, Tom. Can you give us your pick for right wing?
Okay, this is someone that was completely off my radar. I didn't know much about this youngster. And obviously, like we say, Super Sport Schools is able to let us watch a lot of school rugby and get access to these young talents. And Okonta Chichundu, I'm probably butchering that name completely, excuse me, but he's a right wing from Glenwood, and he's been an absolute try-scoring machine this year. Every time he gets the ball, he looks like he's going to make something happen. The only concern I would have is that sometimes he gets played as a center when I think he should be sticking on the wing, because I just think he's got those finishing instincts in him. And he's just someone very exciting. And I think, if you take a look at his genetics, how he's built, his ability to run, his natural athletic ability, I think with the right coaching and the right guidance, he's going to go super far in the game. I think he's someone under the radar and someone that everybody should be keeping a very close eye on.
Okay, cool. And we've got him here as right wing for Team Gold. Let's get that outside center, inside center pairing. Spoed, can you take us through picks for both of those?
Gino Cupido, Strunt on the outside. He's a sort of a household name in schoolboy rugby by now. Burst onto the scene last year. Powerful, big, fast. He's got the package. And to do it with all due respect to a side like Strunt, but to do it out of Strunt and play the kind of rugby that he has, play provincial rugby, and play representative rugby, he's a class act and definitely somebody to watch for the rest of the year as well. And partnering him up with James Nero from Durbanville. I think that'll be an amazingly exciting centre pairing. Nero as well burst onto the scene last year at the North-South tournament, sort of announced himself. And I think that'll be a very, very exciting centre pairing.
Fantastic. Going now to the left wing, Hannes?
Hayden Tolmay of Grey College. The Wings of Grey didn't get as much ball as per usual this year, but Hayden has shown this year that the opportunities that came his way, he grabbed it with both hands and both feet, outpacing a lot of his the defense. So he gets my pick on the left wing for Team Gold. A proper wing, a bit stocky, but he's strong on his feet and he has got enough pace.
One of the other important pairings, fly half, scrum half. I think for the fly half, number 10 for Team Gold, I'll come to you, Tom.
Fly half for Team Gold, I went with Joaquin Ahmed from Wynberg. This youngster's shown incredible maturity this year. Sometimes he's played behind a pack that hasn't been as dominant as some of the bigger school fly halves enjoy. But he's very composed under pressure. His ability in terms of tactical kick-ins up there with some of the best I've seen at this level, and very, very accurate in terms of his kicking for posts, and just a very exciting young talent. I think he's made the difference between Wynberg winning a few games and losing a few games as well. Someone definitely to keep a very close eye on.
Thanks for that, Tom. And then to round off the back line for Team Gold, scrum half, Spoed, what do you think?
Yeah, my pick goes to Michael Langston from Clifton. Once again, and this is what is so great to see. We're picking these players, and it's not Paul Jim, Paul Boys, Paul Ruiz, Grey College, Uffies, all of the positions. We're getting to the guys like Michael Langston from Clifton. He's a driving force of that side. He's a typical number 9. And he's very, very important to that outfit, and he makes them a much better outfit than maybe we used to seeing from Clifton. It's a battle between him and Keanu Everson once again. I look at these sides and sort of head to head, and I see this trials match in my mind, and a little bit different in the way they approach the game, but both equally good.
This is the Super Sports Schools podcast, brought to you by Spur.
Come on, wake up now. Who got zombie? Wake up now. Sequilatos cut. Wake up now. Who got my sign? Get up and go.
With 15 delicious breakfasts, Spur is the place to be until 11 every morning. Enjoy an unreal breakfast, still just $49.90. Spur, people with a taste for life.
Wake up now. Come on, yeah.
This is the Super Sports Schools podcast, brought to you by Spur.
We've rapid-fired perfectly through the backlines, and we've got a Team Green, we've got a Team Gold. Now, up front, the big battle of the packs, the forwards. I think we'll go position by position here to really get a feel for this hypothetical contest if these teams ever were to play each other. It's cool for us to imagine, at least. Starting number 1, let's go there. Team Green. Hannes, who have you got up front?
I've got for Joseph Zulu from Jeppe. He's been a good player for Jeppe this season, running with the ball, solid in the scrums, playing. They beat Monash this year, Jeppe, first time in probably ever or a long time. that they beat Monash. So playing against a Monash pack is always difficult. So Joseph Zulu gets my pick there. A very good player.
As the school sport encyclopedia, Hannes, if you say it's the first time ever, we'll believe you, even if it is the first time in a very long time. And then let's take it to Team Gold. Tom, who have you got going up against Zulu?
I went with Piwe and Ngobese from DHS. I tell you, the quality of the props in the KZN area this year has been incredible. And, you take a look at some of those kids and let's be politically correct. They're portly, a lot of them. But at the same time, you think to yourself, like, how can a guy that size with that shape be this athletic? It's absolutely crazy. I mean, these guys are running at top speeds. They're putting offloads all over the place. And he's definitely one of my players to watch, and someone that really entertains me. I always love watching this kid play.
Rugby is the game for all shapes and sizes, so it's cool that you make mention of that. And yeah, I've definitely noticed this year we've had some big fellas making meters, throwing it around and playing some exciting rugby. And talking about throwing it around, throwing it into the lineouts, our hooker for Team Green, Spoed, let's go with you.
I went with Amazing Veriwa from Kingswood. The name says it all, amazing. Kingswood, another one of those sides that's really impressed. And thanks to Super Sports Schools, once again, we saw them playing at the Graham Rugby Festival earlier in the year, where they really impressed. And Veriwa was a big part of that. Your hooker is such an important possession in any side. And like you said, just not just throwing it in, but come scrum time, and he has to get over the park. And Veriwa almost acts as a fourth loose forward on the field as well. And Kingswood, they've been having a great season and well deserved to get players mentioned at this level currently. So amazing Veriwa, Team Green, number 2.
And then Spoed, if you yourself had to choose someone, another person, Team Gold.
Nathan Smith, Outeniqua, forms part of a really formidable front row alongside somebody like Ruan Swart as well. He's been good. He's been good the whole year. Watched a lot of the match between Outeniqua and Grey College, where he was brilliant as well. And he's one for the future. He's a fundamentally very good hooker. He's good at set pieces. He gets around the park. He makes his carries. He makes his tackles. And I think he has a bright future in the game.
And then closing off the front rows of both teams for Green and for Gold, our tight head. Tom, let's come to you to do Team Green, and then I'll ask Hannes to do Team Gold.
Okay, Team Green should be no surprise here. It might seem like a little boring because we all know about him, but Jean Erasmus from Grey College, that run that he did the other day against Paul Boys was incredible. I was certain it was going to be a try. You came just short, but there's nothing better than seeing a big man in flight. And, over the years, Grey produced some high-quality front rankers, and I mean, he must rank up there amongst the best I've seen in recent memory, and he's been extremely entertaining this year, monster in the scrum. And if you take a look at Grey's tactical changes this year, it's definitely a far more forward-orientated game than it's been in years before. And you need those big men up front that's going to do the hard work and the muscle, so to speak, the bullies. And, I don't want to disparage him by saying he's a bully, but compared to what the other kids and what he's been doing to him on the field, it sort of feels like that sometimes.
And then, Hannes, your pick for Team Gold to go up against Jean Erasmus.
Sia Dube would get my pick from Glenwood. Glenwood had so far a struggling season. They almost like the Oakdale. They then warm, then cold a bit. But if your tight head prop is he's more than pulling his weight within the team. Sia Dube, and hard worker in the scrum, a proper front rower. He loves rucking as well, it seems, from watching him play. So a tight head prop must love it to scrum and to ruck, and they don't want the ball. So, and Sia Dube fits perfectly into that mold.
Hannes, I'm going to ask you to go on now to number 4, our first of the locks for Team Green.
Yes, my pick there is Charles Hubert from the Pumas. It's the wonderful thing that Super Sports Schools brought to the whole system is now we can see players like this more on a regular basis. And we've seen Charles Hubert last year at the Craven week as well. He's from Hoërskool Middelburg. He's a hard worker in the loose, and he's a proper rugby player. He's probably gonna the Pumas are gonna have a good Craven week, I suspect, and Charles Hubert might be pushing for a place in one of the SA teams, representative teams.
I'm sure many of the players on our list by the end of this are going to be right up there. Tom, what do you think for Team Gold, number 4?
I went with a youngster from Maritzburg College, someone again that I was in awe of last year, Kutle Mtunkulu. I think he's as another great year. It's quite funny because last year Maritzburg College had a lot of expectation thrust upon them because of the players they had at their disposal, and I don't think they sort of performed to the level that everyone anticipated. And this year, without the expectation, I think they've been absolutely fantastic, and I really have enjoyed their forward pack. And Kutle is definitely one of those players that stands out for me in terms of his work rate, his attitude, and just overall playing ability, and surely somebody that must be knocking on the SA Schools door.
And then I'll stay with you, Tom, on the other side, number 5 for Team Green.
Okay, number 5 for Team Green, I went with Van Heerden Pretorius from Paul Boys. Definitely stepped up a lot this year. I think last year he was certainly a talented player. Maybe just not the finished article, but in terms of this year, I think he's matured into a great player. He's definitely worked out those minor weaknesses that he had in his game last year. And this year, I think he's definitely been one of the standouts in the lock position.
And then to finish off the locks, can we get you, Spoed, to do Team Gold at number 5?
So my pick for the number 5 for Team Gold is Jaco Grobler, a youngster from Figat Park High School in Bloem. He's a real monster. He's big, he's powerful, he carries well. And I'll never forget a chat I had with JF van Heerden, the SA Schools lock of last year. And I asked him about Jaco Grobler, and he just replied, "Jeug meneer, hy's hard." And that sort of said it all about Jaco Grobler, and getting somebody from a school like Figat Park once again. I think he's going to really knock hard on the door for a place in that Free State Craven week side. And if he gets there, he'll do really, really well.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Locks sorted for both teams. Let's go now to our open side flank, Team Green. Hannes.
Yes, my pick there would be Sipho Mpaka from Queen's College. Queen's College has also had a good season this far. They had good performances so far this season, and Sipho Mpaka has been on the forefront there. Hard worker, proper six flank, going for the ground, balls, making turnovers for his side. Look, Queens are always an exciting side, and there's if you watch most of their games, there's a lot of turnovers happening either side. It's they don't. It's not like this watching the Springboks. They don't secure their ball at all costs. They rather run it, and this fits Sipho Mpaka's play properly within that squad.
And then Tom, for you to come in for Team Gold, open side flank.
I went to the Kola Nyali from Wynberg, and this is a youngster that's capable of playing anywhere in the back row. Absolute quality anywhere in the back row, and in my opinion, he has to be making the SA school side. I don't really say that too often about players, but he is something that's really exceptional. Very, very gifted athlete. The sort of speed he has off the mark, his defensive work, his overall work rate, his attitude. To me, he's a complete package, and he's been one of the guys that I felt has really shone through this year. And like I said, I would be very disappointed in the selectors if he wasn't up there in the reckoning.
Cool. And then their compliments, blindside flank, Team Green. I'll come back to you, Tom.
I went with Diepan de Jager from Al Dorain. Sort of a dark horse. I can't remember the festival like right now offhand. I think it might have been um, the Kes Festival, if I'm not mistaken, where Al Dorain played. It was the Kes Festival, right? Yeah.
Yes.
He was incredible to me in that festival. He's a big boy, and the work rate that he had was absolutely incredible. He was all over the field of play, always getting stuck in there, and one of those guys that is not afraid of the physical confrontation in any of the games. I really thought that he was one of the standouts and someone that I think is definitely a dark horse. You know, he's gonna if he decides to go, take his rugby seriously after school, I think he could develop at a rate of knots, and he's going to be one of those guys that people are going to say, oh, he just came absolutely out of nowhere. Who is this kid? But he was available in the Super Sport Schools Act, thank goodness. So he's there. Go take a look at his highlights and some of his games, and you'll be seeing what I'm talking about. A real dark horse talent, and someone that I think can really go far.
Awesome. And then the blindside pick for Team Gold, I'll come to you, Spoed.
Dewald Gerber, Outeniqua. You know, he reminds me a bit of Peter Steph-Tutoy. Hard, uncompromising, really throws his body into contact, and he's been part of a very, very formidable pack of Outeniqua. You know, that loose trio of himself and Jeff, which includes Jeff Winveso as well. But yeah, Dewald Gerber has been enormous for Outeniqua, and he will be at Craven week, and he will be pushing. He'll be pushing, and he never stands back for anything. You know, we speak about that great college pack so often during this year, but he was one of Outeniqua's standouts against them as well. Physical and physical specimen.
I'm quite sad we've now come to that final position, the one that I was very interested in as a kid because it's the only one without a name other than its number. 8th man, Team Green, Tom.
Went with another Maritzburg boy. Yeah, again, I've really enjoyed watching them play this year. Sasha Kadira. I believe that he might be a Zimbabwean boy, so I'm not 100% sure that he would be able to play for SA schools if we're selected. But what an incredible year he's had. I think he was great last year as well, and he definitely personifies that grit and determination in terms of this year's Maritzburg College team, in terms of, giving it all for the jersey and, going all out for his teammates and all the rest of it. And he's definitely one of the leaders within that group. And I think he's a massive reason as to why they've actually enjoyed so much more success this year than last year. He's really stepped up. He's really matured as a player. And for me personally, I would really look forward to seeing him develop into a great professional rugby player in the future.
Hannes, take us home. Team Gold, 8th man.
Yes, thanks, Alex. My pick will go to Wandile Mhlaba from Michael House, another boy from Michael House that I picked. Wandile was a stalwart in the team last year as well. I think he played a few games at lock as well. Very mobile, 8th man, proper. I think as Spoed said earlier, he's looking at a trial match between these sides. I'm thinking, what a matchup between him and Kadira. It would be proper, a physical battle between these two guys. Wandile likes the physical part of the game. He has good hands. He's a good link between forwards and backs as well in the Michael House squad. Very good player, and probably would be one of the guys to look forward to as well at the under-18 Craven week later this year.
There we have it, guys. 2 teams, Team Green and Team Gold, 1 to 15. We've now got 45 players that we've gone through. I had to do quick maths there. We've got 3 players for each position, and over the next couple of weeks we're going to get that to 8 players per position, and luckily it's out of our hands. Leave it to the public to decide who is going to be the player in each of those positions in our Ultimate 15. Guys, thank you so much for bringing your experience, your knowledge, and everything else to the chat. And yeah, we got through it. We got through the 15, and I think obviously there are some amazing players there, and I know there'll be lots of opinions about each of those picks and each of those positions, but there's still about 5 picks to go. So hopefully we're going to see quite a competitive bunch at the end. Guys, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Alex. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Alex.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thanks so much.
Cheers,
We'll be
have a
back
good one.
soon to talk more about the sport that we all love. And it's going to be a very interesting final few picks. We'll be back soon. Each Wednesday, a new episode at 7 p.m. on DSTV 216. I've been Alex White. Thanks for watching or listening. Bye-bye.
This has been the Super Sports Schools podcast, bringing you stories of our future stars, powered by Spur State Ranchers.